fellow YouTubers? It is me, Wes, and this is Amputee Question and Answer episode 11. Let's get on to the questions. First question. Wes, what is it like going through a metal detector at an airport or wherever it may be? In particular, at an airport, I just let them know that, I have a prosthetic leg, and they say to step through the metal detector and then move off to the side, and then they do the pat down. And I don't really mind being patted down. I know that's what I have to do, and it doesn't really bother me. But in general, I think it's funny if I would set off a metal detector and no one knew that I had a prosthetic leg. Because then they'd be like, stop! And I'd be like, what? And they'd be like, ah! Oh, speaking of which, I was at a Redskins game about a year ago, and I had to go through the security at the gate, and they did the little metal detector thing, and they're like, ee, and they're like, sir? I'm like, pull my pants leg up. I'm like, yes. They're like, oh, okay. And yeah, end of story. Next question. Wesley, what kind of shoes do you buy after your amputation? Are sneakers the best thing, or are other kinds of shoes the best thing? Nikes, Adidas, etc. What kind of shoe do you prefer? I personally have only used New Balance shoes since my amputation, and just recently I have gotten a pair of Nike, but the one Nike shoe I put on my running leg, so I don't really wear it on my prosthetic. But yeah, New Balance is the way I go. The only other shoe I've had on it is a boot, and that's about it. This person asks, how is it to try on shoes at a shoe store as an amp? Well, it's actually a little bit more difficult because I have to sit down and putting the shoe on is a little bit more difficult, but I manage, and I think it's always weird because I have to walk around on it to see if it's even the right heel height to toe height ratio. And if it's not, I'm not going to be able to even try it on and walk around that well. Either my knee will give out on me pretty easily, or it'll begin to lock up, whatever, if it's not the right heel height. So I don't even consider shoes if I'm going to have to adjust my prosthesis just for that shoe. Next question. Are there shoes you can't wear or that are harder to wear? I'd say it's harder to wear shoes that are heavier. And in particular, the shoes that I can't wear flip-flops. I can wear some sandals where they have a heel covering and things that just go over the toes in the front. But I can't wear split-toe flip-flops. Wesley, are boots hard to get on the prosthetic foot? I would have to say that they are hard, and the taller the neck of the boot is, the harder it is to get on. The more you would have to loosen up the strings in order to pull the tongue of the boot out far enough that you could get the prosthetic foot in, because the foot doesn't bend and move, and it's not going to conform to the way of the boot like you can with your normal foot, where you can kind of extend it and then bend it once you get it into the shoe. You can't do that with your prosthetic foot. So putting on tall boots would be hard. I personally have not worn anything like a Timberland boot yet, but I have worn some hiking boots. Good question. Next question. Do you ever put your sock and shoe on before you put your prosthesis on? Yes. Whenever I wear shorts, I usually just leave my shoe and sock on the foot at all times, because I can just pull up my shorts, put my leg on, and then pull my shorts back down over top of it, and it's not a big deal. The times when I do have to take my shoe and sock off are whenever I wear long pants. Next question. Do you have to book a flight in advance due to your disability? The answer to that is no. There's no need to book a flight in advance just because I'm an amputee. But one thing that you would want to do is just make sure with the airport you're going to that they will be able to accommodate you in the ways which you feel are necessary. Next question. This person says that he has problems in the very cramped areas on the airplane, like the toilet and washing areas, where it's really small. How about you? I personally don't really have many problems, and I think that's because I am a guy. But if I had to worry about sitting down and doing all that stuff, it might make a difference. But as opposed to someone that has two legs, it's not gonna be that big of a difference. It hasn't been for me, but that's me. Last question. Do you ever feel like you have your prosthetic on when you don't? Or don't think you have it on when you do, and vice versa? What has happened? It's weird because whenever I have my prosthesis on, I usually feel like my phantom limb that I can feel in my mind, I feel like it's in a normal position that my prosthetic leg is in. So whenever I'm sitting down, I feel like it's just, out on the floor in front of me. And then when I stand up, it just feels like it's normal, like I'm standing. It's weird. My body kind of compensates and makes it seem like it is where it's supposed to be. And so it doesn't feel like it's somewhere where it's not supposed to be. The only time that it's weird is when I stand up and then I click the little button on my leg and spin it around so my foot's facing the other direction. If I walk on it for a little bit and then turn it back around, it almost feels like my foot's backwards, and that's really weird. I don't know if there's any amps out there with that kind of thing on their leg that they can spin it around, but you should try that and tell me what you think. If you have, leave a comment below and tell me what your experience with that has been. Well guys, thanks for another great question and answer episode. Keep on sending in those questions so I can keep this awesome series going. For all of you who are dedicated and watch my videos and subscribe to them, please leave your questions and comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe, leave a comment below. Don't forget to check out my blog at amp4life.blogspot.com or my Twitter at theamp4life. Thanks guys, see you next week.
AMP for life.